Hi guys, this is Lachette from Scarlet Moon Creations, and this is my 2020 setup video. Finally, so sorry for the delay. This was supposed to be coming the day after my 2020 pre-planning, but I was exhausted and I needed to catch up on sleep and energy, and also prepare for Christmas because we basically had like a holiday party on Christmas Day in our house, and I was in charge of entertainment and I needed to do that and grab a last minute Christmas gift or Christmas gifts technically. So yeah, check out my upcoming vlog number 16 for how some of that turned out. Anyway, I want to jump right into the setup. I have slept and it has been glorious. We had a good time. And I planned out my spreads. Like, I knew what spreads I wanted to have. Just to show you guys real quick, I took out this from my bullet journal because it'll be easier to draw my spreads out. But yeah, this was the page I did with my ideas for spreads for 2020, and then my monthlies down here. But yeah, these are the pages I'm going to be drawing up to at least the title for quarter one. Still deciding whether I'm going to do a whole separate quarter one setup video. I probably won't. I might just give you guys an idea of what my plan is in an upcoming video. So anyway, but yeah, this is the basic order, the page numbers that I'm going to be using, and the design. So I decided I wanted simpler spreads, but also I wanted simpler spreads. I didn't want to be drawing a lot in 2020 for my bullet journal. I wanted a more minimalist look, but I still wanted some artistic element. So I know you've probably seen this like a million times already, but I plan to go with a 20s Art Deco look for my 2020 spreads. And like I said, I know this is not new. I know that Amanda Rach Lee, I think, did it for her January 2020 setup. And I know Plant Based Bride did it for both her 2020 annual spreads, but and also her January 2020 setup. I just, it's an art style that I've always loved. I live in New York City. It's literally everywhere, even outside of Manhattan. So there's plenty of inspiration, and also the internet. On top of that, I really was thinking, even before the idea of having like an Art Deco look, that I wanted to do frames. It was something that came up last year. I did page, or not frames, borders. I did borders in June of last year, and I liked the idea and I wanted to do more of that in 2020. So yeah, but that's enough explanation. I penciled in some stuff you may or may not be able to see, but that was to like help me figure out what I wanted to do, because this is not something I'm used to. So yeah, with all of that explanation, let's jump right in to it. I'll come back at the end and show you all my filled in pages and their functions. So let's go. Okay, and we are back. So I could show you a flip through of the pages I did. I started filming this, showing you guys. Well, I started recording like as I designed the spreads and then filled them in, but I realized that would be a really long video, so I cut stuff out. But here are my 2020 spreads, you guys. Okay, so first up, just like last year, I have my calendar at a glance. This was really helpful last year. I'm not always able to look at a calendar. I have a physical calendar on my walls. Of course, we have them on our computers and on our phones, but sometimes it's just easier when I'm using my bullet journal to plan out my months and my weeks to just glance at this to see the makeup of days, particularly since I have this mini key here, similar to last year. I circle the new moons and full moons, and then I have like this purple square for holidays and a yellow square for birthdays. This is again at a glance, so I can just look and see what is coming up during that month. That's just stuff that is important to me as a witch, but also as a person. And as you can see, as I said, I'm going for a 1920s Art Deco look. So this was the first kind of idea that I had for the frame that well, not idea I had, that I saw and really liked. And even though the calendars at the bottom kind of really go into the frame, I'm okay with that. It worked out okay. And this is what I'm using. This is new to my stash. All of my tools or whatever are listed down in the description below always. But this is brand new. I bought this the day after Christmas. I was looking for a gold pen marker that was pretty fine point-wise, but also this is a bullet tip. 1.5 Faber-Castell Pit Artist pen, gold, 250. I just got it at Dick Blick Art Store. I walked in and used it. The other thing you guys haven't seen often on my channel is the Pigment Microns. I've had these forever. I have a set of like 5 or 6 colors. I didn't use them often because when I got them they would bleed. The black one doesn't, but yeah, I just wanted to be sure that my lines were super fine. So yeah, both listed in the description down below. This page is meant to be the moon phases page, and I have not I keep forgetting to go to the library and print it out. I know I have ink at home, so I gotta go print it out, and it'll be posted in here. But this little motif at the bottom was my second favorite. That I was inspired by a lot of vector art on Pinterest and just the internet in general. And so yeah, not a lot happening here, but I'll paste in the moon phases from Ezzy Spencer. She sends that out to her email subscribers every year. I don't really feel like drawing out a bunch of circles, especially since I don't have like a circle template. Next, my 2020 annual strategy. The bottom of this may change, it might not. The reason I didn't put anything down here is because I spaced this out in such a way that if I need to add things to it, there's an equal amount of space in each box for each month. And yeah, I was afraid of putting something here. This I like started planning out weeks and weeks ago, And I used a gray Tombow brush to just make the title because I wasn't sure what color scheme, what I was going, my 2020 spreads would look like. And so I just outlined it with the gold, and that's good enough for me. Next, this is where things get more elaborate and more obviously Art Deco. Um, my word of the year this year is dedication. It could have been dedicate, but I think dedication fit better. I did some brain mind mapping here. I box letters. I still don't know if I'm going to leave these open or fill them in with the gold or maybe even black. I don't know. We'll see. But this motif here is inspired by the Chrysler Building here in New York City, the most obviously Art Deco architecture on the outside of the building, and the cone spire thing at the top. I can't speak English right now, but you know what I'm talking about. That's what it's inspired by. I definitely wanted something like that in here, and I was glad to do something similar. Here are my annual objectives. I use the 5 categories as I talked about in my previous video. My annual objectives and my top 5 goals are listed in the objectives that they fit in the categories, but also down here with little boxes, so once I complete them I could just check them off and say they're done. I use the Sharpie highlighter. It doesn't exactly go, but yellow and gold are in a similar family, right? Yeah. If you haven't seen it, please check out my 2020 annual objectives video where I talk about each one in more detail. Next, I have my 2020 astrology page. Now, I wanted to do 2019 one. This is just a quick overview of the major planetary movements that will be happening in 2020. And I got all of this information from the astrology podcast. I will in my new divination journal, which I guess I can show you guys here real quick. Finally breaking this puppy in. I showed it late last year, halfway through the year, but I never got around to using it. I've already started. But yeah, I'll go into more detail about these movements, especially when we do my monthly field and sky notes in those pages as well as in my divination journal. But I just wanted the overview here. And I don't know why, but this particular motif made me think astrology, so I like it. Color of the month. Didn't pull these cards yet, but I will, and I'll fill them in, and it'll be like 12 blocks similar to last time, so nothing too special there. I'm thinking I might fill in these squares though, still considering. And I tried to go for like font, typography, calligraphy that was similar, that fit the time frame I'm going with for art style here. Now these 2 pages, last year or this past year, I decided I would do a fairy of the month, song of the month, my plant ally for a month, and essential oils for a month. I did not get through them. I only got through half of the song and fairies, and so I definitely want to finish those up. Otherwise, I might have just not done it this year, but I do want to complete the ones that I pulled. And then for the Plant Ally and Essential Oil, we have 10 months worth because this project went sideways early on last year. There was a lot of like preparing and pre-planning and things that I didn't get to, and so I couldn't get the plants that I didn't have already. And then I had a big issue with the essential oils. So this is basically mostly the list of the 10 plants and 10 oils that I did not get to 2019. I didn't put the dates here or the months here because I'm thinking I'll put them in as I get to them, because I know how last year went. So yeah. Next, we have my annual log for 2020. Kept it pretty simple because I know this fills up really quickly. Kept the same basic color scheme. It's not too elaborate. Birthdays are in orange, holidays purple. Excuse me. The only reason for that is because you can't really see the yellow too well, so it is what it is. But this is 6 months. I like this sort of technological looking thing happening on the sides, and so I'm glad I did that. And the font is okay, even though it's not perfect. I'm okay with it not being perfect. My profit and growth strategy layouts for my two businesses. I've already got information to put in here, but didn't want a super long video, so you'll see that probably in my December review, or maybe January 2020 setup, which is the next video, the January 2020 setup. But again, I like the plaque looking thing. Now, I made a page for each of my top 5 goals, an idea I kind of got from Sunshine and Stationery. Not that she invented it, just that I was like, oh. Now, I have mostly information penciled in because I don't know that the layouts that I currently have for what's written is going to stay that way, and I'd rather have it penciled than pen and then constantly whiting out stuff. But yeah, these are the steps I'll be taking to getting a new job, applying for ones that I already have my eye on, and other places to look, like meeting jobs in Indeed, updating my references to let them know that there will be references again, practicing interview questions, new job spell work, buying work clothes, that kind of thing. For dating, that's what I should have put here, dating instead of date, but I'm starting small. I don't have a lot of experience. It's been a while. So, I have a profile up on one dating app thing, and my first step is to just send out 10 messages a week, like either whether it's a reply or like look at people and see if I want to talk to them, that kind of thing. I don't have a dating app on my phone. I just go directly to the website, which is, I guess, technically old fashioned, but then I've never done online dating, so this will probably I'll add stuff as we get to things, but I wanted to start small and work my way up. Next, income 30,000 minimum this year. The new job will go into that. My two businesses and babysitting. Also, I need to break these down, and this ties into my profit and growth strategy pages as well. Next up, taxes. So what I have to file, what years, what I want to pay by when, and that kind of thing. This might be broken down into more detail later on. And last, the green witchcraft. I can probably ink this in. So I made this like a category because I knew I wanted to do all of this stuff. this is the focus. This is, I guess, kind of my depth year. These are my depth year goals, technically. Um, and spiritually, Green Witchcraft is it. So, like, the 10 new products I wanted to make, that's in my annual objectives. The recipe pages I've been wanting to put into my herbal grimoire, the Plant Ally Project, the essential oil of the month, spreads you've already seen. Recipes that I've been wanting to try for so long, but kind of putting off getting ingredients for, buying seeds for plants, which was one of the reasons I had issues with the Plant Ally Project last year. Repotting my aloe vera, the Materia Medica course, which has been sitting for like 2 years waiting for me to take it by the Herbal Academy. So yes. Next, I have books to read. This I'll be adding to, though I don't have much more space left. Um, but I separated graphic novels and manga that I definitely want to get to this year. Many I'll finish. After that, I decided I don't want to list stuff that is on my previous books to read list. I didn't get to everything I listed for 2019. I'm okay with that. Um, but I did want to make a list of stuff that I do want to get to this year that wasn't on last year's list. This is, for the most part, new series completely, except for two. The Dresden Files by Jim Butcher. There's a new book, Peace Talks, finally coming out July 20th. And the others by Anne Bishop. There's a new book coming out, I think, in February, actually. So those are two series that I love, and I'm excited for the new books to come out. Everything else on here are series that I have never read a single book from, and I should add one more because I'll wait. But, and I'll probably add some standalones at the bottom here and let that be that. These are not all the books I want to read this year, but the top priorities, you could say. And the last page is my quarter one spread, or I will do a mind map like I've been doing the past year, and it has worked wonderfully. That'll be in my next video, though, so I left it blank for now. So this is my collections insert. If you've noticed, again, like I said, I'm still using the one I used last year, which I liked. I don't mind having, it's only halfway used. I still have now, 20 pages left, and if I use it better than I did last year, even though I did pretty good, I will have more than enough. So that is it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and for being patient. I'm sorry this video is coming out later than I had planned, but it is what it is. I will see you guys in my January 2020 setup video. I hope that your year will go just as great as I plan for mine to, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.